What's up, guys? It's Nerd coming at you with another episode of But Does It Spin? And as you can see, today we're opening a battle set of Infinity Nado. This is quite old because this is the very first battle set of Infinity Nado. Infinity Nado nowadays looks completely different, but I wanted to go over this because it is one of those toy lines that is an alternative to Beyblade nowadays. It is one of the bigger ones as well. That said, it is an old one. As you can see, I did open this before. This is not a new one. I just wanted to go over this with you guys to be part of our episode of our series. But does it spin? Because Infinity Nado we'll be seeing in the future more as well. As I said, this is the very first set. It does come with an arena, two Nados. Two launchers. The Nados are Super Whisker and Blade. And yeah, they do come apart. You can disassemble them and customize them if you want. In the sense that it was much like Metal Fight Bay. Not only that, the contact point, the contact point fighting part was made out of metal as well. So an interesting thing about Infinity Nados is that they are made by Aldi, and Aldi, back in the days of Bakuten Shoot, they used to make counterfeit Beyblades of Bakuten Shoot. Of course, the official stuff are now really hard to come by, so people are actually collecting the Aldi ones because they were really well made. And so even back then, even back when official stuff were not too rare, people did buy all these Beyblades a lot just because they were cheaper and the quality was decent. So they did make enough money to make their own series with their own anime to compete with Beyblade. They made their Infinity Nados. That said, the quality, as you'll see later, is pretty good in these. And this set, the first Infinity Nados, of course, were heavily influenced on the Metal Beyblades. That said, it is a line that has evolved since. The ones nowadays are completely different. They don't take after the Beyblade Burst series. They made their own thing, which is fantastic. I love to see it. So yeah, without further ado, let's open this up. So here we are with everything that was inside the box, aside from the arena, of course. But these are the launchers. They're like light launchers, you know, like the metal. Is this focusing? They're like the light launchers from the Metal Saga. They're very smooth. I do like it quite a bit, and like I said, the quality in these are pretty fantastic. They're not like, they don't rattle. It's very smooth. You know, it's pretty good. The launcher itself is pretty different. You can't launch Beyblades with this, so you can already see from this era on already, they were trying to make their own thing, even if their Beyblades were heavily based on the Metal Saga Beyblades. This one is not as smooth for some reason. But yeah, two launchers, one blue, one red. They did also come with these two tools to disassemble this, and this is where I mean they were heavily based on Beyblades, because this is Beyblade Metal Saga. It did come apart as well, and every Beyblade from Metal Saga did come with a key like this for you to disassemble it and customize it if you want it. And you can see it's very similar to that. Not base Nados. This is Super Whisker, and that's the thing. Even though it was inspired by Beyblades, their designs, it's a little more vague. Like, you can't really tell what it's supposed to be. Like, even the name Super Whisker, what is that supposed to be? Like, in the drawing there is a knight, a blue knight, kind of like Valtryek, I guess, but Valtryek didn't exist back then. It's interesting to say the least. This is a more defensive type, I think, compared to this one. The tip is metal with this blue cyan thing is rubber, and the tip is metal. It's very fine. I'm thinking maybe this is more stamina-like. The red one is completely metal. Let me see if I can focus on that tip. It has this like four-sided thing, and so that is obviously an attack tip. It does have a spring here to keep everything everything together. You use the key to open it up. I'm not going to open it up because I have a hard time putting it back together. So that's one thing that was different from the Beyblades, because Beyblades you could just, you know, put it together very easily with no issues. This one's I kind of have a little hard time with that, so I'm not going to do that on the video today. But you can do it, I promise you. You can change tips. Some of the starter packs did come with two tips, and so on. An interesting thing about this is that these you could do two modes. They called it observation and attack, observation mode and attack mode, where you flipped. You can see that this is like a cone. You could flip it to be higher and lower. So in a way, these guys came up with low mode and high mode before quad drive Beyblades, but that they took it out after this season. Of course, they do have the plastic ones as well, but that was in the same season. I think that was like just like a prototype that they came out with first, and then the second one, they did the second wave. They did make everything with metal. Not everything, of course. Everything here is plastic, but the contact point, the impact points are metal. So yeah, this is what was inside the box, aside from the arena. Let's take a look at the arena. It's right here. It is pretty big. You saw the box. It was a huge box. So this is a pretty big arena. That said, it's a very simple arena. It's a very flat arena. It's a very boring arena. Nothing too crazy about it. We can do some test battles here. Why not? We are here to test it anyway. Let's go. So we'll launch. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, the blue one is a right launcher, and the red one was a left launcher. Okay, so that's different there. It just plugs in like that, and then it releases when you launch it. Let's launch the blue one first. As you heard, it is a very smooth launch. But like I said, the arena is very flat, so they don't often interact because the red one is not inclined to go to the center too quickly, just because it's not too concave. It's mostly flat. So we have to wait for a while for them to actually make impact. But you can hear that they're spinning pretty fast, pretty strong. It's just that once they do get to the part where they do fight, red is probably gonna run out of stamina mostly. But yeah, there you go. First hit, you can hear that metal contact, and the blue just stays there. But yeah, so yes, the battles are okay. You can do it. It didn't take too long, I guess, but the arena could have been better. They could have been more concave, so that they would go towards the middle. The next battle set that they did resolve this issue. That said, the plastic is very thick. It's a fantastic arena in terms of quality. It's just that in terms of playability, it's not too great of one. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that it doesn't rattle or anything. I will show you some of the other tops later on in future episodes where they're similar to this, but if you shake it, they rattle. And that's because Infinity Nado, like I said, the build quality of these are fantastic. They're pretty durable, and they're great. if you can find this set to pick up here in Brazil, it's still pretty common to find it. It's not too bad, and they are still very cheap in comparison to Beyblade. So it is a nice set to have. It is, if you don't care about what spin tops you get, like if it's not a huge point for you to have Beyblades, Infinity Nados are decent. They are made out of metal. They do spin really well. It's just that your friends might not let you play with you if you come out with Nados against their Beyblades, especially because these are metal. And these are pretty heavy. So I think this would beat most Beyblade Burst Beyblades. So yeah, that's one thing to take into account. If you need an arena, this will make do, but it's not one I would it's not one that is too fun to play on. So it's not. I can't recommend it in that regard. But it is durable, so you can just spin whatever you want in this without having any issues. And yeah, that's what we had for today. I'm not gonna battle it against any burst Beyblades, because as I showed you before, my burst Beyblades are all Hasbro, so they are all plastic and a lot lighter than the Takara Tomy versions. So if I run it against these, I'm afraid I would damage my Beyblade burst stuff. And like I said, here in Brazil, they're pretty expensive, so no chance of that. If you do want to see some of the other spin tops that I show in the future episodes, if you want to see them battle against these other tops, then let me know, and that's something we can try to do sometime later. But yeah, that's all I had to show you today. If you like, please smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And if you like contents like this, stay tuned, because we are bringing more stuff, more Beyblades, more stuff that are not Beyblades but are like Beyblades and so forth. And yeah, so see you next time, and until then, stay nerdy, guys.